Stephanie, you have done a lot of voice work in your career. Quiet, not to give too much away, it completely relies on mannerisms, a lot of physical comedy and acting. Uh, what kind of challenges did this role present, going from doing a lot of voice work where you're solely relying on your voice and then having to sort of flip the script?
That's a great question. I mean, I don't know that it was a challenge in a way of like, oh, I have to, you know, insert grumble here. I mean, it wasn't that kind of challenge. It was the kind of challenge that I was excited by because so much storytelling does happen on film in movement, in facial expression and physicality. I mean, like to use Joe as an example, Joe Smo who plays Sweet Tooth, like the physicality that he brings to that character, like you know who that person is right off the bat, just from the silhouette, but then like the way that he moves within that silhouette. And
Mhm.
so like for me playing quiet and not being able to talk, I don't know, there's just like a lot you can do. There's a lot of story you can tell with your face. I mean, quite a bit of emotion slash comedy that you can get out of not saying a word at all.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up because that's one of the characters that really appealed. Obviously, I work for WrestleZone, so I know his work as a wrestler, but he had to do a lot under a mask, and Will Arnett's doing the voice, so it's not even Joe necessarily talking to you. What sort of interaction did you have with working with Joe, just as far as being on set with him, and then good, bad challenges as far as not being able to talk and see him through the mask?
I love Joe. I think he's a doll. He's a really, really lovely person. Just like a great human, dad, husband, you know. I think he's absolutely fucking terrifying in that costume and mask. Like it is he puts that mask on and he just becomes Sweet Tooth. And it's like horrifying to see and fantastic at the same time. You know, you're just watching this like incredible transformation take place in front of you. There was a day where Anthony and I were in a scene with Joe, and he had to do this very physical sort of special effects thing with a big prop that was going to have to break. And we only had two. So, you know, like everyone on set's nervous that he's not going to. And like Joe gets up there, there's a complicated camera move. Joe does everything perfectly the first time. Perfect. Perfect. Finishes, everyone bursts into applause. Joe's like, oh, well, I messed up this little. I mean, he's such a fantastic perfectionist. He's so good at what he does. His physical presence just adds so much to this character. And I think fans of the game are going to be so happy when they see how his character develops over the season.
Yeah, I didn't think he could be any more intimidating, and then you see the finished product and it's like, oh, okay, it
Oh
all
my
it,
God.
it all clicks. uh
Did you watch the whole series? Did you watch
yes,
all 10 episodes?
yes, I did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Horrifying, right?
his introduction is one thing, but then the whole season, it's like, wow, it
I
clicks.
know. I know. It's crazy.
I have one more question for you. I'm gonna try to make it related to wrestling. You were in
Okay.
Encanto. Which member of the Madrigal family would you say would fare best in the wrestling ring?
Oh, Louisa for sure. Super strength. Are you kidding? She'd be the world fucking champ.
Okay,
She'd
okay.
have multiple belts.
All right. Same question, but how which family member would be best suited for the Twisted Metal universe?
Camilo. I don't know how you say it. Camilo. You're gonna have to edit that out. Camilo, because he can shapeshift. So he could like basically like anybody he's wrestling, he could just become whoever that person's like arch nemesis is that can beat the crap out of them, that he would do the best.
Okay. All right. I like it. Thank you very much for your time today. I enjoyed the show. I hope everybody likes it as much as I did.
Fingers crossed.